Self-hatred and self-loathing is so hard to deal with, and it's very common in people who struggle with alcohol because we continuously disappoint ourselves when we try not to drink or we try to moderate, and then we drink 1,000 drinks anyway. So over time, your self-confidence and your self-esteem just gets beaten down, and you can go to a point where you just really do not like yourself. I invited my friend RJ from the Untapped Keg Podcast to do a live with me. We were initially going to talk about how he's celebrating 9 years of sobriety very soon, but we went in a completely different direction and ended up talking about self-worth. I wanted to share this clip with you because it had such an impact on me as someone who has struggled with this too. And I know that RJ and I are not alone in feeling this way. If you want to see the entire conversation, you can check that out inside my membership community, Living a Sober-Powered Life. The link will be in the video description. And you should absolutely go follow RJ on Instagram and check out his podcast and YouTube channel, Untapped Keg. I will link all of the stuff to connect with him in the video description. So let's get to the clip. Wanted to feel proud of who you saw in the mirror. And that really resonated with me because I am such a people pleaser and I will sacrifice myself. Just everything you said. Like, I don't have to repeat what you said. Everything you said was how I feel. How did you even start working on that?
So I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Until almost about a year ago. My kids got home. I can't remember what they were doing. And I was at a low point and they yelled, "Daddy!" And I was like, and maybe they yelled like, "I love you" or something. And I looked towards them and I'm like, how can you love such a piece of shit? And I started to realize that I was holding it against my kids that they love me. Oh my God. I hate myself. I have a deep sense of self-loathing. Like, that's my neutral. That's what I go back to. That's anything that I feel, it comes back to me hating myself. And so realizing that, being totally honest with myself there, that I really don't like myself and I need to change something there. I noticed that when I would look in the mirror, I would physically kind of recoil. Like I did not like the person that was there, and I would physically kind of have this movement away. And so it's simple, and people may think it's not going to work, but I would just look in the mirror and be like, "You're okay." And I just like shrug like that. And every single time I would catch myself in the mirror, it'd be, and I wouldn't necessarily say it out loud. I'd say it to myself, but I would do the shrug and instead of recoiling. And so I started to really focus on what I was saying to myself, how I was saying it, where was I going with it. And it's been a year, but there's been a lot of steps that have happened there. Like, I've made a lot of major changes. I've made a lot of, what am I doing with my life? What steps can I take to move my life forward? What can I do to put myself out there, put myself on a ledge, get uncomfortable and see what sticks, put myself in situations to enjoy life and go to live life instead of letting life come to me and really living me, right? So, talking with a lot of different people, like mental health streamers, people in the sobriety space, and just coming to terms with, you really do control your perception of your life that's around you. So if there's not a lot of joy in your life, you have to create that joy. It's because you don't want to see it. I'm at the park with my kids and I'm like, God, can we go yet? Are we done? Meanwhile, they're having the time of their life. And it's like, why am I not over there playing with them? What am I doing? So then I started playing with them. And I started dancing with them in the mornings, being silly and like finding my goofy side again that I lost, years ago because my career left another hole, in my soul that I was trying to fill with. Tried to fill it with alcohol, didn't work. Tried to fill it with career, didn't work. Tried to fill it with kids, don't work. Right. So finding this goofiness that you don't have to be so serious with life. You can have some fun. And now instead of waking up and be like, okay, what do I have to do today? Oh, it's going to be like, okay, what kind of joy can I create today? And I'll just be in the kitchen and I'll just start dancing by myself. No music on, just, whatever I think about, and just finding your fun, finding your silly, and just enjoying what's happening around you. And then when you can kind of get out of your own way, you start to extend that to other people. And like, that's where the benefits are. You really see them. Easier to forgive other people when you're not sitting there thinking how much of a pile of crap you are, and how, oh, if I did that, I would just get reamed out. Like somebody would tell me I'm such a POS. And instead you're like, it's all right. That happens. You weren't here trying to mess things up. Sometimes it happens. Let's fix it. What do we do to fix it? And that's the mindset shift. Like when that happens, that's when the magic happens. So I'm very grateful for that.
So what is next for you with all the cool stuff you have going on?
Next is, getting my coaching certification, and then really launching into Untapped Keg coaching, one-on-one and group coaching for people who, and I've changed the podcast too from just sobriety and mental health to really post-sobriety. So like, how are you thriving in sobriety instead of just surviving? Because I just survived for so long in life, and I haven't had a ton of cravings. There's only been a few times in my 9 years. And don't get me wrong, when those few times happen, they're intense. But it's, how do you get to a point where you can live with joy, where you can, what's something that somebody can take from you and be like, instead of just getting up, going to work, coming home, eating, going to bed, and doing it all over again, how can you motivate someone to step outside the box and go try that dance class they've been eyeing for, years, but they just haven't? Or, for the past month and a half, I've been doing yoga that I've been looking at for 3 years. And I don't know why I never did it, but it's been absolutely everything that I wanted it to be. It is. So taking that, especially, and then with like the mental health aspect, really removing the stigma from therapy, from looking internally and doing that work. It's so freeing when you don't have to worry about self-judgment anymore, and you can just live and be goofy and silly.
Yeah, it's hard enough to live and have a good life without holding yourself back and being mean to yourself the entire way.
Absolutely. And when you don't even realize you're doing it, when you're so good at it that you have no idea you're doing it, it is hard to identify. But maybe hearing this will be that somebody will realize, oh, maybe I don't actually like myself and I'm faking that confidence. And then they'll take a look at it and just start with I'm okay.